Hello, here's my video log from September 13th, Wednesday, 7:34. The birds are saying things. Look. What? I know when I go up to them, they go, So, and they do it to each other too. So I think, means like, what's up or something like that. Anyways, yeah, so that's my Wednesday, so I done it, and that's my Thursday, so I'm getting a day ahead. So I'm gonna try and finish this one today, and that's good. And then including this one, it's 10 more. So, yeah, and then it's 3 more after that. And yeah, maybe a couple weeks I'll be done. You know, it's kind of hard for me to picture how long it's gonna take to do the numbering, coloring and numbering. I'm going to right click. I can't Control X because if you do that, it'll take the whole folder away, and I think you can get away with that, but if the folder happens to be closed, it takes the whole folder away, and I could accidentally do it and not realize it, and then can copy something else. So just do right click, copy, and then left click, paste, right click, name, because I 1 to 20 and then 1 to 400. So 1 to 20 is in a folder, and the folder's already made, so you just paste them in the folders. And then you color the folder, so that's 20 colors across. And yeah, looking forward to what it looks like for the 120,000. Hopefully it's not too long, like lagged, because there's so many. Yeah, more brain candy, which is cool because now actually even less probably than what I'm doing here. I don't know. Well, I have to remember the number, but here you have to pay attention to the size. But yeah, it seems like it'll be easier. I'm curious to see what it is. But recently, yeah, finally my freaking brain turned on again. God damn it! After this stress from the mind loop from my mom. Yeah, not gonna see her until the 27th. I think I have to do my taxes. I'll do those. Maybe try to finish this first, and then as my reward for finishing this, I'll do the taxes. On TurboTax. What was I saying? Oh yeah, my brain. Yeah, I was listening to Montesquieu finally. I listened to Federalist Papers twice, Anti-Federalist Papers once. Now I'm doing Montesquieu, and then I'm gonna do, you know, the other books attached. I'm gonna come up with a list of books that you should memorize if you want to be in politics, cover to cover. Oh yeah, the Constitution. You have to memorize the Constitution. Montesquieu, who's the Frenchman. Federalist Papers, also the Anti-Federalist Papers. And those are the main ones for America. And if you wanted to expand, you could do Alex de Tocqueville, because it's about democracy in America, because it's around the same time, and it's a really big book, much bigger than Montesquieu. But anyway, those are the 4 that you have to memorize, like cover to cover. You have to memorize those cover to cover, like every single word. You have to memorize them. And because they talk so much about the ancient world, you have to memorize Plato Politics, because they reference that, and even Plato Republic. But not Dialogues. Dialogues is like 3,200 pages. And I would say even Livy, even though it's like 3,000 pages, that too. But especially the 4 ones, the 4 American ones, you have to memorize those cover to cover, because, especially Montesquieu, especially the U.S. Constitution, because Montesquieu is, you know, not only, he does 2 main things. He instills in your brain all the different examples that you need if you're going to talk about politics, just historical examples, kind of boils down history into the best history you need to memorize when it comes to politics. but also it gets you into the mindset of the thinking you need to have if you're going to talk politics. I mean, motherfucker was a genius. So, yeah, no, probably the wrong prefix. So, yeah, anyway, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just listening to that, and then I'm going to do, after Montesquieu, I'll do... See, those are books you have to do a bunch of times. Like, you should do 10 times in a row, like multiple times. And so that's why I did Federalist Papers twice. And I'll do Montesquieu, maybe Montesquieu twice. And I am kind of doing it twice because I was doing it... Yeah, because I'm doing it on the phone, and it's so easy on the phone. The phone can read the entire book to you, and I want to try that on a book. And see, before you couldn't, because when the earphones die, it stopped reading, but it doesn't do that anymore. So when the earphones die, you just switch earphones and it keeps reading. Same thing with phone calls. If you get a spam phone call, before it would stop reading, like it was impossible. But now you just hit deny phone call and it keeps reading. So there's nothing that can stop it from reading. And so you can read an entire book. And I tried that with Montesquieu, but then it just stopped. I have an iPhone 10. It's like 6 or 7 years old or something. So in theory, you could do it. You know, like in theory, you could, maybe with the new ones. I can't wait to get a new phone because I'm going to try all this stuff. In theory, you can read Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire by Edward Gibbon on Audible. It's a regular Audible book you can get just with 1 credit. It's the biggest book that you can get. You should get it just to see if your phone can read it, because it's like 8,800 page book. It's like, if you look at the numbers of, it's like 350 hours or something. It's crazy. But the problem is my phone can't read it. My phone reads it for 20 minutes and then it just is like, can't. And I'm like, and then it can't do it at all. So then I have to reinstall it, can't. So I have to reinstall the book and the entire program just to be able to read the book for 10 minutes before it conks out. So, but that would be an awesome book to be able to listen to. But anyway, I could do that on my website, so it doesn't even really matter. But oh, and you can pause. Oh my God, that's another thing you can do with the phone reading too. You can pause. Oh my God, I just remembered that. I need to take advantage of that. Because you know when they say something interesting. So yeah, and so what I do, it's easy to read because, well, if I want to do if it's a lot of little chapters, I go to the top and I just scroll it down, move it up, scroll it down. I do that a bunch of times and I hear the whole thing. And if it's just one chapter, you just go to the bottom and you do the highlight to the bottom and then you just push it to the side right there and it automatically takes to the top and then you just hit read. So yeah, tomorrow I'll probably have a lot more cool, interesting, like historical stuff to talk about that I learned from the book. Let's see what I learned now that's interesting. A lot of really interesting tidbits. Like, I want to actually write a compilation, a web page on my my website that can trace things that go way back. Like, people don't realize traditions, how far traditions go back. You know, like when you get married and you're supposed to carry your wife across the doorway. That is in honor of when the Romans, in 753 BC, when the Romans took the Samnites, had the fake games, and then grabbed all the women, the rape of the Sabines, and took them into their house in their arms, like against their will. And so that's like in honor of that. So 3,000 years. And then Halloween is the fall of Atlantis, which is 11,000 years ago. 12,000 years ago, and then like, you know how when you're in New York and the Chinaman like tries to chintz you on your change, never gives you the right change. It's because in China for thousands of years, the Yellow River always flooded, and they had to eat bugs to survive, and so they have this like poverty mentality. And I learned that from Montesquieu. I mean, that's what Montesquieu said, not me. So. Like, all sorts of interesting stuff like that, breaking down What else did he say? Yeah. Yeah, he's kind of like the original kind of like Spiral Dynamics, you know, guy. Because he's talking about how different areas and different situations give you different values, you know, and stuff like that. So, really cool. So anyways, yeah, so I'm going to go into the store and get an energy drink because I only went there this morning. I got 2 Monsters for $4. I can get $2 each if I get 2. And so now I'm gonna go in and get a C4 because I like the niacin buzz it gives my skin. But a lot of times I go in there to get my C4, and I get a extreme energy. I think that's what it's called because it's C4s are $2.29 and that other one is $1.29, and I'm like such a fucking stingy bastard. I'm like, oh, get the cheaper one just because you save $1. But I think I'm gonna do a C4 today. I'm gonna treat myself, spend that extra $1 and get a C4, so I can get really high and get that niacin buzz on my face. You should get the C4, dude. Freaking pound that bitch. You'd be like, ah, ooh. I bet you the ecstasy heads love that stuff. I wonder if you would feel that even if you would feel the niacin if you're on ecstasy. Or if you'd be too much on the ecstasy to feel it. I've never done ecstasy. I've tried a bunch of times, but it's always bunk or, yeah, I always get really bad luck with it. Anyway, that is enough. My little Savannah monitor was out earlier, but he went in again, so you only see him like once every 2 days. So I am, I'm gonna listen to music because, that's another problem with reading it to you, and I wish they would change this other thing. I wish they would. Maybe I should write them and be like, can you do this one last thing? When it's reading to you, you can't do the same thing as you do with YouTube, or when you pay your YouTube, you have to pay YouTube. When you hit the power button and it turns the screen black, then you can put the phone in your pocket and the screen doesn't get affected. Because with reading, if you hit the screen black, it'll stop reading. And if you put the phone in your pocket with the screen on, it'll stop reading because the screen will touch something on your pants, you know, so, or your finger will touch it and with the keys or something. So it's better to just listen to music when I go to the store. But you know, you could do this actually on a bike if you put it on your bicycle where it's not touching anything. That'd be interesting. And yeah, it's cool on this because you can actually see it. It reads to you. You see where you are, and if you lose where you are, and you want to see what's written, but you lose where you are, and you can't see on the computer because on the phone, when it reads you. It says what it's reading, but then it goes out of the screen and it doesn't follow. It just goes down. So if you want to know, you have to scroll down. And if you're in a really big book, like how are you going to find that? So the way that you do it is if it's got a lot of different chapters, you could do a word search. Yeah, I guess it would stop. It would keep reading. But it's got so many chapters. What I do is I just wait until it gets to the next chapter, because I have chapter names. So where it goes 3-13, you know, 1.2 pages, you know, 50 seconds. And then it starts reading, oh, okay, we're in chapter 3-5. So I go to chapter 3-5 and then I go. So that's what I do. Anyways, that's enough. It's fun, man. It's a skill that I'm getting good at. Because it's a skill you have to get good at remembering to do and not listen to music and stuff. So I have to maintain excellence. So I'm gonna go off to the store, get my energy drink, and then I'm gonna get back. I'm ahead. I'm happy about that, but I'm like, well, let's try to finish this bitch today. Like, skip ahead in one in a day, and then try to do it this one, you know. So, yeah, I was thinking maybe I'll get a morning gecko. They're only they thought they were extinct until like 1985 when one fell in a bowl. They're only $60 across the street, dude. But I think I want to set up the thing a little bit more because they eat crickets and I have morning gecko food already, you know. But I'm so like unorganized. I think I'll wait on that. Like I really can't do anything. But that Savannah monitor is so easy to take care of. All I have to do. Oh, and I ordered the crickets on the Dubia roaches. I need to go and look and see. I want to check the mail also from my roommate too. He wanted me to. Okay, talk to you tomorrow.